Well, hello, Rehoboth Fellowship of Atlanta. It is now at the close of Tuesday evening here in Nairobi, Kenya. I have one more day here, and then we will leave to go to Kigali, Rwanda, and be there for about 4 or 5 days. There is a church in Kigali, Rwanda, that is starting an inclusive church, and we're installing the pastors as well as the leaders on this coming Sunday. So I look forward to bringing you updates from that. I'm sitting here outside. It's nighttime now here in Nairobi. I'm sure it's still daytime there for you. I had a very interesting experience today. Everything's just been so interesting. We had a chance to meet with the faith leaders again, a group of young pastors that's leading the church here in Kenya. So we're doing some leadership development. They're coming up on their 4th anniversary. And many of the infrastructures that we take for granted and the things that I press you all so much about with regards to church administration, they are so eager to learn how to put systems in place that will capture things like attendance, finance, simple things like how to do congregational care, even pastoral support, making budgets, planning strategically for the next 3 to 5 years. There's a very interesting, the employment rate here in Nairobi, Kenya is about 35%. So almost 70% of the population is unemployed. So it is very important that the church position itself to not only be an institution of spiritual growth and development, but of economic growth and development. And as a result of that, we're discerning with this congregation now what will be their business venture, so that they can employ many of the members of the congregation. So we're discerning through that process and coming up with some business models that would be helpful. The other interesting tension that's present on the continent is while Kenyans are open to help, it is important to them that we not push a westernized agenda, but that the agenda actually be birthed out of what they consider to be their needs and wants. So it's very intriguing to see how culture, how race and gender play into the decision-making process of so many things here. I had a chance to travel into the industrial areas of Nairobi today, the warehouse areas of Nairobi, and it is absolutely amazing to see how innovative people are. What major corporations leave behind is like empty barrels and pieces of scrap metal. Those things are precious commodities here in Nairobi, Kenya. And you will find that there are people that make their livelihood off of converting old barrels into usable forms to catch rain, or usable forms for other storage facilities. So there is certainly a need for economic revival in this region. The unfortunate part, as I drove on the streets today, or as I rode on the streets while someone else drove, because driving here is far out of my lane. I would not even try, trust me. But as I rode with someone today, we rode in the van, I noticed there's we have to be sensitive about what we do. It has become a hot business here in Kenya or in Nairobi for people in the States to send second and third hand clothing for them to sell. Second-hand American clothing. They don't know where the clothing will come from. They don't know who wore it before, but they sell it on the side of the streets as a luxury. And I just can't imagine people sending their hand-me-downs to sell as an industry here. My heart breaks when I see things like that. I certainly there's certainly a passion that I am feeling for the ways in which we have to do better. We take so many things for granted, and I know you hear that all the time. I hear it all the time. But there's just so many things that we take for granted that over here are such lush commodities. And so I'm leaving with such a profound appreciation um, for what we have, but not only what we have, for the ways in which we're able to help lift up the banner of justice in the world. The temperature here is ripe as the election is coming up. The next election is coming up for president in about less than 30 days, actually. And so much of Nairobi is tribal. So there's a lot of tribal tension going on right now. So keep Kenya in your prayers. For those that have been emailing and text messaging, I am safe. I haven't had any incidents of violence or threats of violence, thanks be to God. The people have received us so warmly and want to know, when are you coming back? When can you bring more of our brothers and sisters back? So I'm so thankful for that. The temperature here has been wonderful. I'm going to try to update you again before I leave for Rwanda. Rwanda is probably about a 3-hour flight from here, 2 to 3 hour flight from here. And then we'll go from there. Listen, I love you. I know that there is inclement weather in Atlanta and the South area. I'm praying for you all here from from Kenya. And I'm praying that power be restored. And I've been checking in with Minister Maurice and others to see if there's any needs that we need to address in the congregation while I'm away. Keep strong. Thank you all for what you do. And I'll look forward to seeing you soon.